This is Doyel Shamley from Apache County, Arizona. He will be giving a workshop later this afternoon, but I wanted to have you have a chance to get a short introduction from him today.
Okay, thank you, Kirk, and I thank you folks for attending today, and the fellow panelists for taking time out, all of you, to be here. As you know, with the state of the country now, you're part of the majority that thinks like us, and that's in a proactive way, which is about 1% of society. So we have, and I guess you had asked me earlier too to kind of preface just a touch. So I'm the CEO of Veritas Research, and I'm the Apache County, Arizona's Natural Resource Coordinator. And we created and developed a plan that we ran to Congress and back that was held up as a model for the country, and that is called county stewardship because it ties directly into health, safety, and welfare. Now, we know the problems already, and I think most people have a sense of that. It's corruption and fraud in government at all levels, okay? So I'm not going to repeat a lot of those because the panelists have done a fine job in each of their respective areas already. And if you didn't know them, you probably wouldn't be here in the first place. So let's talk about a proactive solution approach to these problems. And Apache County had led the way in that recently, and when I say recently, the last 3 years to 4 years, depending on what action you're considering. Now, my oath that I took when I enlisted to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, didn't extinguish with my enlistment. And we must carry that forth. All of you have ever done that. How many people in the audience right now know what form? I like to interact, so let's go. How many people know what form of government we're guaranteed by the Constitution?
A republic.
Yes, good. And where's that found at?
It's found in Exodus, in the second book of
It's
the
in the
Bible.
Constitution, but it's in the Bible.
Yes, it is.
It's right back in the
Yeah,
Bible.
exactly. It's Article 4, Section 4. And where do most government grants, as far as land and property and rights, where do they come from? Where's the enclave clause in the Constitution? And see, right there is part, and we all have to recognize this. We have allowed this country to be degraded to the point it is, since you can't defend something you don't know or understand. Okay, now the first two besides Exodus, and yes, you're right, the Constitution derived it from there actually, but Article 4, Section 4, and then Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. Okay, now you need to know this document if you're going to defend it. Now Apache County is tired of being pushed around. So we started with resolutions because the county has the ultimate authority to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its residents and to be that defender. The sheriff is one of those tools, being the highest elected law enforcement official, the only elected law enforcement official in the country. And here's how we started. First off, all the lands and outside influence from any other agency, anytime they act within your county, they're a direct impact upon the way you live. Your cultural and historic use is the very fabric of your families and life. So to start with, we picked on the Forest Service. Now we picked on all federally managed lands because actually in Apache County we're 89% outside influenced in Apache County. Now, and that's also due to large reservation holdings, Navajo, Hopi, Zuni, Apache, etc. I won't disparage them that, but I will disparage land management, so-called management agencies, coming in and destroying the fabric of our society and our freedoms. So first, the county unanimously passed resolutions that we are in direct, at the table, sitting controllers of the land management policies in our county. Plain and simple. To protect the health, safety, and welfare. You hear a lot about the travel management rule. How did we defeat it? Simple. The county is the authority over all routes and right-of-ways within the county to protect health, safety, and welfare. Those roads and right-of-ways throughout federally managed lands, not owned, there's a big difference, are not controlled by the agencies. So after those two resolutions were passed, we hand-delivered them to the agencies in question that were implementing these actions. And after we delivered them to them, then we went to our elected officials, more out of a courtesy for chain of command than anything else. Because I didn't expect Senator McCain or Kyle to do anything. McCain is a Manchurian candidate, and if anybody hasn't figured that out yet, then you keep drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? Now we also delivered them out of our own pockets. Myself, the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, the county attorney and county manager flew to Washington, D.C. and delivered these with the sheriff's statements to the head of the departments in question at their own desk in their own offices. And here was the final statement of it all. After all the whereases and therefores, which Kirk has copies of those resolutions, plain and simple, if you try to stop the county in any of our ways to protect the health, safety, and welfare, which includes reestablishing the timber mills and cutting, which means reestablishing the cattle grazing industries and the sheep, that we will arrest you and you get a free ride in an Apache County Sheriff's vehicle. Kirk, I'm going to cover a few more things, so you yell at me because you know I'll keep going. So when I'm like at 9.5 minutes or something.
All right.
Now, now you'll hear from the naysayers, and I knew it right away because they see the socialists, they always follow the same playbook. And they're not creative people. They don't think. They can only puppet and repeat what their masters tell them. So when the Cronkite News Service Washington, D.C. Bureau interviewed us on multiple occasions to publish articles about our actions, because then we did go to work. And we have cut thousands of acres now and caused 3 mills that were closed, even power removed because of the monthly deposit that you pay just for having power on site. Reopened, and one of them running 2 shifts 6 days a week. A 4th high-speed mill has moved all the way from Washington State into our little county. Now remember, my town has no mail delivery and 1 stoplight. So I asked them, why are you moving here? It's because you have assured us a safe haven and a supply of material to put people back to work. That's why we're moving clear from the state of Washington. Now every county in America can do this. This isn't a tenet of common law that Apache County, Arizona invented or conjured up for some evil means now to do us 2 resolutions and move forward. Every county in America can do this, because if anybody's waiting for state or federal government to come fix their backyard, again, keep drinking that Kool-Aid, because it's not going to happen. Each county, one by one and together, needs to move forward and quit waiting for someone else. That's the only way it's going to fix. Now, I heard earlier we have a county supervisor here elect. That's true? Good. Good. Are there any other county elected officials in the audience? Okay. Okay, well. Good. Well, we've got one. Okay. There's again, just like the constitutional knowledge and background, you can't defend something you don't know. They need to be here. And since they're not here, you need to take what you learned today and ram it down their throats. And if they can't swallow it, remove it. Now, another thing that we did was, people will tell you that, well, there's no market. There's no market anymore for these materials. No market for these fields and jobs. Okay, well, let's look at it this way. Why then, on the drive here, do I have a call from a pallet company in Tucson that was looking at having to drive to Colorado to get wood? But he was told by my wonderful state representative, Brenda Barton, that, well, I think I got someone who can help you. 20 minutes, I pulled over, of course, because it'd be illegal to drive and talk or something out here in the People's Republic of California. But the 20 minutes of work on the side of the road, I linked up a 5th mill right at the line, Luna, New Mexico, state of New Mexico, Arizona line, with that pallet producer. That saves us, the pallet producer, 9 more hours of driving. That's what they would have had, 9 additional hours. They are going to have to hire 5 more people to process those 5 truckloads of sawn lumber a week. The mill's going to have to hire 5 more to cut those logs they have bunked up that we opened the field for. And in between, it's going to take 3 truck drivers let alone the mechanics, etc., that come along with that. It can be done anywhere, and this afternoon we're going to go into a lot of detail on how to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Doyel. I'd like to thank the panelists, every single one of them, for